what are like 3 tips that you'd give someone who is struggling to get over narcissistic abuse, like after the point where they've identified this has happened to me,
Mhm.
and they're sitting in that space just really trying to get out of feeling like woe is me? Because a lot of times the people who have gone through narcissistic abuse, they're not woe is me type of people, but there's a period of time where you just feel stuck or stagnant. What are 3 tips that you give for someone who's in that stage?
Ooh, 3 tips.
Yeah.
Put me on the spot, y'all. No, it's okay. Um, I would start with getting really present with yourself. Find some way to get grounded, sit on the floor, close your eyes, that kind of thing. Get really, really present with yourself, because what's happening when we are going through these moments of I feel stuck, or, I'm never going to get better, or how does this even, how do I even move forward kind of a thing. Um, when we can get really still and quiet and sit with our thoughts, like literally observe your thoughts, observe the stories that are playing in your head, because these are the stories that are going to keep repeating themselves until they have worked themselves out. And when we can sit with them and just really look at them and know, oh yeah, that's a thought, that's a thought, and not be the thing that we're thinking, right? We're not
Mhm.
be the failure that we feel like we are, or not be the, this is impossible, and not be in that. It's all very possible, and but we don't really listen to our thoughts. One thing I did when I was having panic attacks is I started I would do that. I would sit down and I would look at, like, internally, just look at the thoughts that were going through my mind, because panic attack will sneak up on you like
Mhm.
out of nowhere. And so seemingly out of nowhere. So what I found was when I would get really quiet, there were thoughts running in the background that were like telling me something, telling my body something. And I'd be like, oh, that's really interesting. So, I mean, curiosity, that's one, right? Getting really curious. Observe, observe your thoughts. Just observe them and realize they're not you. And then you can tell yourself a different story, right? You can start telling yourself the truth. You can say, what do I know at this point that is true? And move from that place. Move from that place of what is true. And so when we're thinking something's impossible, or we can't move, or we're never going to get over this, what is one thing that I can do right now? I can get up and take a shower, right? It can be that simple. Doing one little thing to tell yourself that you're capable, that you have power over your life, it will help you move to the next thing. And if that's the only thing you do in a day, like, that's cool, right?
That is an accomplishment, I think, to sit there and to really listen to your thoughts and opinions, because oftentimes we like to fill them with music and talking to other people and being busy in some type of way, watching TV, like whatever. But if you're able to do what you've just said and sit with your thought and listen to the dialogue that's going on in your brain,
Yeah.
you're able to really affect change. So that's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm like processing this as we're talking, right? I'm
Yeah,
going to go
yeah.
back, get curious, observe,
Mm-hmm.
and then do something. One little thing. If that's all I mean, I'm giving something in a very short, like, this is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
right now, this is what you can do kind of a thing, because sometimes that's just where we need to start.
Mhm. And that curiosity, right? That's the point. Because a lot of times we dismiss thoughts. We see
Yeah.
something like, oh, confidence classes, and we think, oh, I'm confident. And I had that. And that's one of the reasons why I named my community Cultivating Confidence Daily. It's because I was asked by a friend, um, when was the last time you felt like you weren't confident? And I was like, I don't know, like maybe like 5, 10 years ago. Like, and I honestly felt that. And then I had to take a step back and
Mm-hmm.
think, well, what is confidence? And
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean in all areas of life? And so when we're curious, we're able to really resolve things that we don't even know exist.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with being able to ask yourself the question and ask why. Why do I think this way? Why do I feel this way? Why am I thinking this thought? Get curious about what's going on in your brain, and don't automatically dismiss a thought. Don't automatically dismiss, oh, I'm not feeling that way. If you felt it and something in your brain told you, let's stay here for a second, don't dismiss that. Let's dig into it a little bit. Let's see where we can go with this, because usually it's something that, because if we haven't dealt with it, if we're not dealing with it, we're dismissing it. So I see that as like we're sitting on the grass and there's soil and we're just pushing it further down. We didn't do anything. And say we have a house that's built on this foundation. We've just built it further into our foundation. We haven't dug it up and got rid of it.
Right.
You're still sitting on that. So get curious, like
Mm-hmm.
Tabitha said.
Yeah, get really curious. And then in combination, just observe your thoughts and feel your feelings. Separate the two. A thought is a thought. It's not an actual fact. It's literally just a story playing in your mind. Your feelings are real. They're not always based on factual things, but they're real. So feel them. If you need to cry, if you need to scream, if you need to punch a pillow, like do it. You know, if you're angry, a lot of us are angry and we're so afraid to be angry because we were taught anger was bad, you know, and it's really okay. It's going to come out in other ways, and it does at times. And so observe your thoughts and feel your feelings. And then the next one would be to do something that empowers you, whether it's tiny, you know, get up and brush your teeth, or whether it's something big or feels big to you. But if we're not going to do the tiny things, it's going to be really hard to do the bigger things.
Yeah.
And if that's where you're starting at, and if that's where you need to start over multiple times or every day, that's okay.